Act 1, Scene 1 of Hamlet, opens up with a very deliberately suspicious line of who's there, and it's delivered by Bernardo. He's a soldier who's about to relieve another soldier, Francisco, who has been on lookout at a post in the castle of Elsinore. This is Hamlet's home, and it'll be the place, along with its immediate surrounding area, where the entire action of the play takes place. Francisco is cold, and he admits that he's sick at heart. In other words, something has him nervous and spooked. Although in the next line he seems to contradict himself when he says that his watch has been quiet as a mouse, it's the quiet atmosphere that really adds to the eerie opening to the play. We don't know what has everybody spooked at this point, but the fresh guard seems equally unwilling to be on duty. He asks Francisco, who's very eager to leave, to tell Marcellus and Horatio, the others who are due to join Bernardo, to make haste, or in Shakespearean terms, that means to hurry up. Horatio and Marcellus arrive shortly after this exchange, and we quickly understand their reasons for joining the watch. Marcellus makes reference to this thing and asks if anybody has seen it tonight. We immediately get the impression that something supernatural is afoot.
Who's there? Hey, answer me! Stand and unfold yourself!
Long live the king.
Bernardo,
He.
you come most carefully upon your hour.
It is now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. It is bitter cold. I'm sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear him. Stand ho, who's there?
French to this ground, and liegeman to the Dane.
Give you a good night.
For farewell, honest soldier. Who has relieved you?
Bernardo at my place. Give you a good night.
Hello, Bernardo.
Say, what is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
Right. Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Marcellus lets us know that this thing has appeared twice already to the guards on watch. Horatio doesn't believe them, and like any rational, doubting Thomas, he has to see it to believe it. Horatio is somewhat dismissive of the notion and quite confident that nothing like a ghost could appear. Tush, tush, he says, 'twill not appear. The men sit and tell Horatio to listen to their story again. Bernardo begins to recall the events of the last ghostly visit, saying that it happened at exactly this time, when the stars were aligned just as they are now. That's about 1 o'clock in the morning. And then, right on cue, the ghost appears once again. But this isn't any ghost. This is a ghost that looks exactly like the king who has just died. Horatio agrees, and for a guy who's been quite relaxed and sceptical up to this point, he even admits to feeling a bit distressed now. The guards ask Horatio to speak to it because it looks like it wants to talk to somebody. And Horatio wastes no time. He forcefully and once again confidently speaks to the ghost. He describes the ghost as being dressed in full armour, the same armour that the king would wear into battle were he not dead. Despite Horatio commanding the apparition to speak, once again it leaves.
Peace. Break me off.
Look when it comes again!
In the same figure like the dead king, Hamlet.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like. It harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio.
If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done, that may to thee do ease, and grace to me, oh, speak.
Stay and speak! Stop it, Marcellus!
'Tis here! 'Tis here!
After the ghost leaves, all of those present, including Horatio, are in total shock. Horatio admits that he would never have believed it if he hadn't have seen it with his own eyes. The men question Horatio to confirm their own thoughts. Horatio admits that the ghost did look exactly the same as the dead king. He wore exactly the same armour and had exactly the same look as when that king was in a famous battle. Marcellus confirms this. He says it was exactly the same manner in which the apparition appeared to him twice before now. He says that the king was with martial stalk, meaning that he looked like he was going into battle. Horatio is totally lost for words and thoughts and admits this. The only thing that does come to mind for him is that he feels that this is a bad omen for their situation, or to put it in his terms, an eruption to our state. Marcellus further questions Horatio and asks him to put the pieces of a puzzle together for him. He's got a couple of things on his mind and a few observations that he's made. First of all, he wants to know, why is the ghost appearing every night? Next, he wants to know, why are we casting so many cannons? Why are we stocking up on military hardware from abroad? Why are the shipmakers working day and night? Why is everybody working double shifts, preparing for something? Horatio tells Marcellus only what he knows. Some time ago, old King Hamlet of Denmark was challenged to one-on-one combat with King Fortinbras of Norway. Old Hamlet beat him fair and square and won all of his lands. The son of King Fortinbras, inventively called Young Fortinbras by Shakespeare. Now this guy is a real untested hothead. He didn't like the deal that was struck up between Fortinbras and old Hamlet prior to the battle, even though it was a fair one. He's now gathering an army, and it looks like he's planning on taking back the lands by force. To Horatio, that explains the preparations. Then without warning, the ghost enters again. Horatio makes for it and requests that it stay and talk to him so that he can help it. He thinks that maybe also the ghost can tell him something about the fate of Denmark and how they can all help in that situation. He then thinks that the spirit might have some unfinished business that he can help him with. As you've seen in many films or read in many books, a kind of a passing over to the other side once you've done something you need to situation. Marcellus, now very on edge, asks if it's okay to strike it with a spear if it moves. Horatio agrees and says this is okay, but when the ghost moves and Marcellus tries to stab it, the spear merely passes straight through it. And this is proof to us that this is truly something supernatural that's afoot. It's not just somebody playing pranks or something in somebody's mind. We really are dealing with a supernatural situation here. Marcellus feels guilty immediately, and terribly bad that he has just tried to stab the ghost of a king. The cock crows for dawn, and the ghost is gone once again. For Horatio, this proves a theory that ghosts are not allowed to roam beyond the dawn. Marcellus says that makes sense because around Christmas time the cock crows all night and no ghosts or entities roam during that time. Horatio, being a guy in the know, has a hunch that the ghost might speak to his son, young Hamlet. Horatio says that if the others agree, they will all go and tell him what they have just seen. Marcellus thinks this is a good idea, and he knows exactly where they can find Hamlet. And that ends the scene. Once again, we hope you've learned something new from EduGuru. If you have, hit the buttons, it really helps us out. And if you've got any questions about the scene, maybe drop us a comment down below and we'll try and get back to you. Until the next time, look after yourselves.